So think about it this way, giving a lot of opportunity, to maybe players that are really young and maybe don't have that kind of cash flow. I think it's an amazing, like, what, Cycle's like 16 years old. You realize how much money I had at 16 years old, bro? Like, I was taking those to McDonald's day at 16 years. I was working at Dunkin' Donuts my first job. You think I had money to travel across the world? Like, no, come on now.
The ruling has been stamped in. SSG have one round, and they have 13 seconds into the second round, so they need 87 points, while G1 need the full 100 points. So that's the ruling that has been stamped in. G1 gonna completely demolish all 13 of those seconds and add 4. They've got a 17-second lead now.
And with that, SSG looking to take that even further here, because that's a big 2 down, and I think it's only a matter of time before they get that ball in hands. Penguin actually sliding out to no man's land to get first hands on it, but it looks like the rest of SSG being pressured by Gamers First, bound, forced to back down to one shot. Just starts to get his shields back a little bit, and then a nade comes out of nowhere. Stellar's one shot indeed, and he's not going to be able to get out of that situation. SSG are getting pressured right now from Gamers First at every single corner. And mind you, Gamers First are just coming off a spawn. It just says how fast and how good they are getting right back on the map.
You see it right here. Falcated, that's a big 1v1 out of him. That's going to send 3 down for SSG. Eco just coming off a spawn, and that's exactly what his job is. Off a spawn, throwing nades to make sure that the player on the ball is at least weak, so the push happens. But Gamers First do a really good job of rotating that ball quickly through C-Long.
Once again, Space Station Gaming having that numbers advantage, that ball being used as bait. Boo-boo-doo-boo. I don't even know. I don't know if he was standing still. I'm not sure. Maybe he just got caught a little bit off guard there, but that's going to be some easy time now for SSG to try to rotate that ball back over toward the gold side bound. Having to drop it real quick, going at Sav, not gonna allow Falcated to get away. His old duo in 2s, he's gonna put him down, and SSG are trying to get that ball into a safer spot, but Gamers First keep coming at him like a horde of zombies. They're coming in waves.
Yeah, I mean, G1 have done a really good job of pressuring there. The camo was up, and I believe it's out of play right now. I didn't see who ended up getting that, but that camo didn't play much of a factor, it looks like. So at this point, SSG have a little bit of a hold onto C side, and they've got that anchor player there, but that ball will be played. And that's a good play because Penguin is already set up on top glass.
26-7 run here for Gamers First, already down 1 in rounds. They need back-to-back wins here. And that game number 1, that's momentum right there. It's the one thing that Gamers First do not want to give up. And Boo Boo Doo coming in with that sidekick, making it look like a main character, even dropping his BR for the shock rifle. So he's running sidekick and shock rifle combination. I guess not running much right now because he just hits the black screen as SSG are looking to get into their offensive pressure.
Yeah, unfortunately, he ended up dropping into pipes. So that's a shock batteries. I'm sorry. That's a shock rifle in batteries. That is right for the taking. 2 go down for SSG, make that 3. G1 on a little bit of a tear right now in terms of slays. They're finding multiple isolated players from SSG, and they're taking full advantage of it.
And Gamers First are able to advance that ball over toward the Whirlpool side, so as close as possible they start to get the slays that they're looking for. This can be some good time by Gamers First. They already found one. Does Falcated going after the second, but Eco winning the piv on that one. Suppress trades out with Eco. Both teams go 2 down, and eventually SSG get that numbers advantage here. Sab not having a chance in that 1v2. SSG getting right back to their pipe setup, but hold on, camouflage coming up. Maybe G1 can play through that.
Yeah, that's what makes Bound so good. Did you see that last play there? Staying alive, going through towards bat ledge, still playing his life, even baiting out that kill as well. Sab is going to get this camo, and we talked about this before the game. This camo's very important. Wasn't aware who got the second one, but Space Station Gaming definitely up in the camo category. This is a dangerous situation right now. Sab's got the shock rifle and the camo to work with. Jumps up to get the angle with a beautiful shot. They get 2 as well. 3 down for SSG. G1 are looking solid here. They take the lead.
Space Station Gaming going 4 down. Gamers first now have the opportunity to take so much space on the map and find out where Space Station Gamer coming from. They're watching every angle now as Penguin trying to make his way over toward the C side, but he's gonna run into 2. They're also sending 2 members onto the A side, so Space Station Gaming collapsing from 2 different sides of the map. Sab chasing one away, ends up getting caught, and just like that, the advantage that Gamer first had off of that 4 down gets reversed real quick. Space Station Gaming doing the same right to them.
Yeah, now they're aware of the spawns as well. Suppress is stuck on that A side. So SSG are aware. Oh, look at that. Bound gets a spawn in the back there. Eco stays alive as well. Bound gets that spawn, blocks A, and now they can collapse onto Falcated. But look how good Falcated is. He takes the angle to block the line of sight of Bound, and now they take the 2v1. That is textbook gameplay right there on a G1.
Shock Rifle's doing the hands of Boo Boo Doo Boo. He's not only going to win that fight with Penguin with the BR, but also just angles out here. Good shot onto Eco. Body shot's going to make him weak. Eco now not allowed to push up while the rest of SSG are trying to get into position here. Valkyrie sticks Bound. Bound gets a kill of his own. Penguin trying to follow it up. It's an absolute brawl here on recharge, and whoever gets the advantage here should be able to get that camouflage is coming up in less than 5 seconds.
And you see what G1's able to do with camo, right? They got the last one. I potentially think they got the one before that as well, but it's definitely helped them in this second round. By the way, this is round number 2. SSG are up 1 round, and they have 13 seconds into the second round here. So G1 are looking to completely remove that 13 seconds with this win, and with this round win, they will tie this up. A triple kill out of Falcated. That's going to get him presence on the pipe side and force the spawns onto C. There will be split spawns on A, though, so they've got to be careful of those split spawns and that pipe push.
Nothing will slow your offense down faster than a triple kill and a 3 down. Well, it's gonna be a 4 down, but either way, if Falcated with that triple kill forces SSG 3 down and slows them down completely with 43 seconds on the clock. Gamers first really having SSG backed up against a corner, and as of right now, Gamers first are punching right through. Eco trying to get out of that situation, not able to do it even with the help of the grapple. Bound dropping down to the low ground, but can't escape. That ball is in such a baitable position here for Gamers first, and right when SSG get an advantage, get near it, the reset happens. 18 seconds on the clock here. Can Gamers first keep SSG off of this oddball?
Yeah, that's all they're trying to do, but we have to take in that 13 seconds into account right now, okay? My math is really bad, but 13 seconds, SSG have 4 dead, 75 to 53. G1 just needs to slay one more time here. They get 1 second of oddball time, and they rotated through the pipes. That should be a tie now, 1-1, it looks like. And of course, now we go to round number 3, Tony. I mean, G1 looked really solid in that round, and I think it really came down to that camo control.
I love this like borderline genius play by Suppressed right there to run that ball, because as he's running the ball, the time still trickles down. He's not earning any points, but it's still dropping, and he's also moving it into a safer location and further away from Space Station Gaming. They continued to play that time, and eventually, even though SSG had an advantage with 13 seconds, they didn't have that 13 seconds to play with as far as on the time clock. So it's tied up technically right now. SSG need 1, and so do Gamers first in this game number 1, in what's bound to be an incredible series between these 2 juggernauts.
It is definitely bound to be, and we're seeing him on our screen right now with a pistol. Such a strong close-range weapon. Gets the trade, though, and SSG trying to scrap up some ball time. That ball will be in a playable spot, but Eco's going to milk every single second he can out of this, and he's going to get a total of 15 seconds as he goes towards that repulsor. So not only does he play the ball off the map, but the repulsor is out of gameplay as well.
Yeah, one could say that he got crazy value even in this economy. Economy.
Okay.
The shock rifle in the hands of Bound, not for long. Suppressed and Falcated able to get back-to-back kills, and now with both teams 3 down, a pseudo 1v1 between Falcated and Eco, and they're going at it. Nazer here, and Eco right up into Falcated's face, and the missed melee is going to cost them, as now Space Station Gaming are continuing to spawn onto the A side here. That one fight might cost Gamers first some valuable time.
Yeah, and that one fight, movement tech is king, right? You get that movement down, you're able to make plays like that where you enter in someone holding an angle with the shock rifle. That movement tech just saved him, and that shock rifle is going to go down once again. 3 down for SSG, though. They're getting outslayed in these last, the last round and this round as well. It's just that G1 are not able to get too much time. As I say that, they finally get just a bit of time here. They've got 15 seconds on the board. Penguin somehow gets that kill. Falcated not able to clean it up, but he's going to look to play this ball potentially.
I just love the play that Falcated drops the ball and tries to put down that extra BR, the extra damage. Lots of times when I'm playing with with my ranked teammates, they'll sit there and hold the ball and watch me get into this 1v1. Right. Come on, man, drop the ball and get some value here. That 1 or 2 seconds that you lose from dropping the ball and killing that player in a 2v1, obviously, eventually they get the kill. But if it's a 2v1 and you kill that player cleanly, that's going to be even more time. Forget about 1 and 2 seconds. Start to turn those 1 and 2 seconds into 10, into 15, into 30 seconds at a time. And that's what we need to be thinking when we're playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, G1 is doing such a good job of getting 3 down onto SSG. The problem is that last player that stays alive, and most of the time it's Bound, is able to just cause so much havoc and not allow them to get that ball out of batteries and into a rotation.
Double push out of Gamers First. They are able to 2v1 Bound right there. Looks like the pressure is coming in. Eco trying to capitalize on the damage that Bound put down before going down. Takes down Falcated as well. And the final 2 players going to work in tandem here on the gold side, trying to dodge nades left and right. As Gamers First, we said it before, they are so quick to get right back on the map and to take real estate immediately. That's what makes them so hard to deal with.
Yeah, and unfortunately, though, unfortunately for SSG, G1 did get those favorable ace spawns. The waiting on those ace spawns is very high, so because of that, G1 are able to get the slays off of those ace spawns. They form a pinch. 3 down for SSG once again, and a pipe setup solidified for G1.
2 down for Spacestation Gaming here. Gamers First having that advantage. Sab immediately hopping on his glass side. I know you love this. Anybody that tries to cross for SSG are gonna have to go through Sab and the rest of Gamers First. With camouflage coming up, SSG might have to slow it down, sacrifice a ton of time here to make sure they secure the camouflage and hopefully break this setup, this lockdown that Gamers First have on the map.
Yeah, this is important right here on a Bound. He gets the camo, like you said, to potentially break this setup, but it's how he plays it. It's gonna change the outcome of this game. He gets 1, tries to clean up the second one, gets a second trade there, and that's 3 down for G1. The ball in the hands of SSG, and like I said, that camo playing an integral part in that break, and because of that, SSG looking to scrap up some time here and potentially take this lead.
Back and forth this lead goes, but as SSG have the setup, Bound gets a huge double kill to stop the push coming out of Gamers First. They take down the 3rd, and looks like the 4th is gonna go down as well. SSG putting Gamers First back on respawn time and time again. Not only able to take the lead here, but as of right now, Gamers First must be getting frustrated. They have to find that perimeter kill. They have to find some kind of lane enter, otherwise this game is over.
Yeah, and you see Sab once again on that backside on C Plat. He was putting tons of damage in, but it's not enough. They go 3 down. SSG continue to have this hold in 76 seconds and counting is what they'll get as a reward. No one really able to stop this ball, and honestly, Stellar is in a great spot as well to watch that cross. They've got G1 pinched here on this C side.
Just 10 more seconds needed. Mind you, Spacestation Gaming already won round 1 before the reset. They only need 1 more round to take this game number 1, and there's nobody in sight here for Gamers First to be able to get this ball out of their hands. Boo Boo Doo gets the kill, but it's not gonna be enough. Spacestation Gaming take that round, and ultimately the game up 1-0 on Gamers First.
That's a good start to the series right there. A 1-0 lead in the series, and a lot of confidence and momentum on your side as well. SSG looked a little bit scary in that round number 2. It's still a very close round number 2 for them, but they end up closing it out in round number 3, and now we head over to Aquarius, and albeit I think one of SSG's best maps, and we'll see how they perform on Slayer.
I feel like with the way Gamers First played that matchup, and maybe even how they approached the game period, I feel like Gamers First constantly spawn up and they're like instantly thinking, okay, how can I get value out of my life? How can I get into a power position and immediately apply pressure? And it felt like as game, like, it was funny because Spacestation would put them like 3 down, and somehow like almost felt like 3 more were coming off because as soon as they spawn, they're right back in the action. They're sending hordes at you, and it almost seems like funneling at times. But most of the time, I feel like they're able to bully players with that tactic because they out damage everybody in the game. They outslay almost anybody in individual fights and especially in team fights. SSG are one of the only teams in the league that are strong enough to say, okay, when we have our defensive stance, we're not going to let anybody sneak in through the cracks. Where every time you come at us, we're going to beat you in these fights. We're going to beat you in not only the individual but the team fights as well. So the defense from SSG just a bit stronger than what gamers first are used to, really.
Yeah, and that was the pipe setup, right? Look at them funneling in, like you had talked about, into this pipes. And what happens is you end up in a situation where nades are just prevalent here. They can continue to nade, and again, that play by Eco was amazing, but they're just able to nade pipes. They're just able to, you know, solidify a hold there. And like you said, once they stamp in that setup, they are very strong, and they showcased that in that round number 3.
I guess now my question becomes is like, you know, what style is more prevalent going into a Slayer? Because as much we talk about Spacestation Gaming's objective efficiency, we also talk about the fact that they're hard to kill as well. You know, like try killing, you know, Ika when he's putting shots and staying alive. Same for Down with his mastery of the movement. And when Penguin is on fire, he's one of the toughest kills in the entire league. So who has the advantage going into this game number 2? Is it a situation where Gamer First can bounce back, or will SSG just ride that momentum off of the game 1 win, go into game 2 and really put the pressure on Gamers First?
Well, G1, you talked about those stagger pushes. They work a little better in Slayer, right? There's only a 5-second respawn, and it's enough time to potentially, if kills are not too, if kills that the kills that SSG get are not tight enough together, you know, there's time within those 5 seconds to continue to push in as a horde and continue to, you know, stagger push. And sometimes it'll work, especially if you're able to win those individual fights. On Aquarius, it's all about that top center control. So if, you know, SSG can maintain that and put their solidified hold on, you know, top P and make sure to have top car and a cross on you know, a base or a flag, I mean, they can definitely, you know, hold and potentially, you know, prevent and punish these isolated pushes.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought the map up because, you know, I think of Recharge as being that like long, you know, open field where Aquarius is a lot smaller, a lot more punishing as well. But then when you go into Streets and Live Fire, it gets even harder. It gets even more punishing as we go on to game 2, into game 3, into game 4. We can see an entirely different flow, an entirely different game on Aquarius game 2. Forget the game type, but just the map being so different. And of course, obviously the utility on the map being different. Only a camouflage to work with. Obviously 2 thrusters on each side and a heat wave, a singular one that spawns onto the P side of the map. It's a lot less utility than you would imagine on a map like Recharge. Yeah,
I mean, one of the big things for me, and we're getting some stats here from Mr. Snow in the back, shout out to him, is that, you know, SSG has a 36% win rate on Aquarius Slayer. I wasn't aware of this. You know, SSG is probably, in my opinion, one of the best teams on CTF Aquarius, but apparently on Slayer, not so good. On the other end of things, G1 has a 100% win rate on Aquarius Slayer here. So this could be a tie series as we know it, Tony. I mean, maybe we'll see something different out of SSG, but the history tells itself. This is going to be a tough one for SSG.
100% win rate. That sounds a little good. Just a little bit, right? I, you know, whatever. You know, I live my life like Master Chief, 117% at all times. You know, so I'm saying like 100 is good, but it's not 117. It's not 117. Not 200. You know, I know my numbers. Aquarius Slayer, game number 2. Like we said, much smaller of a map. We're gonna see a lot more action, and mind you, there was plenty of action in game number 1 to begin with. I can only imagine what we're gonna see here in game number 2. First to 50 kills takes the win. 12 minutes on the clock.
Here we go. Game number 2, SSG up 1-0, like you said, and we got a tough one for them. Based off of the stats from previous, I think they're going to have a tough matchup on their hands, but you can rewrite history right here with a win and a solid one to get you 2-0 in this series. We're starting off with Stellar. I mean, this is a player you want to watch. When he starts to get into that flow state, it's really just a pleasure to see what, you know, the plays that he makes and see what he's able to do, but taken down by the new addition and suppressed instantly.
I feel like with Space Station Gaming and the fact that they don't really stream much, and like you said, you kind of mentioned with how quiet they are when it comes to like the producing content, just being out there in front of a camera. It's very easy to underrate a player like Stellar or Eco because we barely get to see them. But I promise you guys, Stellar is one of the best overall players in the game. Frosty has called Eco one of the smartest players in the game. And even though they move in silence, I think, what was it, Lil Wayne? Lil Wayne said real G's move in silence like lasagna. So I'm just saying they must be real G's at what they do.
I would love some lasagna right now. Thank you, Tony, for making me hungry.
That was not the point. No, that was not.
Well, you can't bring up food and then expect me to just. I literally ignored everything you said and just thought about lasagna. Here we go. Hopping on board with Eco. Eco is going to, like you said, one of the smartest players in the game. But one other person that I want to watch on the other end of things is Falcated. Okay, when Falcated, this is one of his most comfortable maps. He's got a 1.65 KD on Aquarius Slayer, ranked number 2 in the league on Aquarius Slayer. So Falcated is the player I want to watch, and he's on your screen right now.
3 members of Space Station Gaming prioritizing the P side of the map B, while you're seeing Gamers First really put the focus on the car side, and eventually going to see like a wall of death happen like in a metal concert, just headbutt each other over toward the mid side, especially when Camouflage is coming up. Down doing a great job of playing his life right across the mid map, even across Falcated's point of view, but eventually Bound ends up being taken down. Boo Boo Dooble answers back by taking down Stellar as well, and with that 3 down goes Space Station Gaming. One more player to deal with. That should be an easy camo grab for Gamers First.
Yeah, but SSG do have that top blue control, so they're able to cross shot on the camo player, potentially pushing up top. That camo was grabbed. I'm not sure who ended up getting that camo, but it's actually not grabbed. It's still up. Okay, so Falcon gets the camo. Again, we talked about camo control in the previous game on Oddball Recharge. G1 are starting to take control of that in this game, and regardless of the stats that we heard, SSG are still keeping this close, but this camo could really turn things on its head.
Yeah, Falcon wants to do everything can to stay alive with the camouflage, but also get value out of the very short time. I think it's maybe 30 seconds that it's on the map for. So you got to try to, participate in what 3 kills, maybe get 2 of your own, get an assist on a 3rd, or vice versa. Does get a little bit of value out of it. You would imagine it could be more, but as long as Space Station Gaming go 3 down and Gamers First add to their lead, doesn't matter how it gets done. 17-13, Gamers First have control and are looking to tie things up.
Yeah, and that value comes from not only kills, but the attention, like we mentioned earlier, that comes from having that camo on the board. And SSG are able to take advantage of that. G1 are able to take advantage of that by getting a very sizable lead here, a 5-kill lead right now for G1, as they solidify the hold on top center. And Falcated in a really good position here decides to back off of car side because he senses the pressure here on the P2 side.
Eco on the high ground here. On P, Falcated doing everything can to stay alive, understands, has an advanced understanding of how to play angles, and just stays alive long enough for his teammates to simply push through and take control here. Now another camouflage comes up. Gamers First have the advantage. I feel like Space Station Gaming wanted so bad and really want to make sure that Gamers First don't have it. So I think this is a perfect time for Gamers First to kind of use that camo as bait. Would you agree, or should they go full head onto it?
Yeah, it's all about getting that #1 kill, and you see Boo Boo does go on the down on the board there. They get Falcated as well. That's the idea, right? They want to make sure to get a couple dead, then that will solidify control of top and solidify that camo. The problem is you got to act quick because, like we talked about, there's a 5-second respawn. Bound, he's going to use a thruster to get past towards camo. Does not pop it, but Penguin gets it. And you said it best, Tony. I 100% agree. This is a big camo for SSG, and now they're within 2 kills.
Not looking good for Gamers First, despite the fact that Space Station Gaming go 2 down. The most valuable player on the map, the most dangerous player on the map right now is Penguin with this camouflage. Early shots onto suppressed. Bound and Stellar want to capitalize on that. He's going to catch a different angle onto the car side. Gamers First have no idea all this pressure's coming through. The first one ends up going down with the quickness. Boo Boo Dooble getting caught in utility by himself. Down to 1 shot he goes. The Dynamo should apply some great defense long enough for Sab to get right back in the fight. The power of the Dynamo to stop Penguin from killing him while 1 shot, as the rest of Gamers First come right in. Watch your teammates back.
And you know, Penguin made a good play there, right? He was aware of the thruster coming up, so he wanted to get thruster and camo, as it's a, you know, it's a guaranteed win in a 1v1 fight. Ends up going down there though and loses a little bit of time on that camo, and because of that, you know, SSG still are not able to really catch up on this lead. G1 still have a 3-kill lead in this game.
Looks like Falcon wanted that thrust, not up just yet. Meanwhile, SSG trying to push up onto that car side once again. Stellar, great shots onto the car too, but even better shots coming out of Falcon. Trades out his life in order to get that kill, but as long as Gamers First have the lead, that advantage gonna work towards them. Penguin thought he had an easy kill, but the backsmack coming out of nowhere. Bound to best in fisticuffs, but he's gonna be taken down as well as another active camouflage coming up here. Eco making sure Gamers First do not get that for free. Stellar and him want to work over towards the car side, get as close as possible to that camouflage, but as of right now, Gamers First have advantage. They have full map control, and you're seeing it right here. Another big kill coming out of Falcon and SSG once again losing that numbers advantage, and that's another easy camo grab, Tim.
Yeah, they've just consistently had that top center control. You saw they forced SSG into this yellow base, and because of that, they're continuing to keep them in this base, and Press now pushing with his camo could make things a lot worse. But as I say that, SSG are able to get a couple trades on the board. They potentially bring it within 3 here. Looks like 4 now with the kill from Suppress, but I mean, G1 are starting to run away with this one. The camo does dissipate, but the damage has been done.
They definitely don't want to count SSG out of it just yet, but it's really nice to have the lead when you're going into the 4th quarter. At that point, you know, your main job is just not to get average, not to make, you know, any more mistakes than your opponent, really, as opposed to SSG, who have to kind of try to make something happen here to take control. 44-38 lead. Gamers First once again gaining map control. You have Boo Boo Dubu and Falcon on the car side. You have the rest of Gamers First man to the P side. Spacestation Gaming have very little options to go, so Stellar breaks right through and gets the first perimeter kill.
Yeah, and you can see that G1 are consistently just taking advantage of top center. Bound just rushes in there, ends up going down. Sab's on a killing spree. Falcon is 12 and 11, 47 to 41. 3 kills is all G1 needs to close out this game number 2.
Sab continue to push up towards the utility side. The one thing I noticed about Gamers First is, like, they never play by themselves unless they have total information on the map. They're always playing in twos, in duos, flying at you with numbers, and then once they get that information, that's when they spread out. That's when they collapse on you. That's what makes you feel overwhelmed when you're playing G1, specifically on Slayer, and that's exactly what we saw right there. You cover your teammates back, you get that information, and then you use that information against your opponents. Gamers First able to take game number 2 and tie things up. However, you got another objective coming up, and SSG, one of the best objective teams in the league.
Yeah, and you talked about that yesterday, right? There's only 2 Slayers in a best of 5, and one of those is on game 5. So objective efficiency is where it needs to be. Your head needs to be focused on that objective. G1 do win that Slayer, and you know, I feel like I see G1 just consistently winning Slayers, you know, no matter what map it is, and we just constantly see them continue to win Slayers. But we're hopping over to King of the Hill on the streets, and as you call it all the time, the swing game in this series. SSG need to answer back here. An 8-kill deficit in that game number 2 is very prominent going into this game 3. A lot of momentum on the side of G1.
You know, I keep telling y'all, you know, Snow Stats may have all the stats indeed, but there's one stat that it doesn't have, and I'll tell you, the team that wins game number 3 when the series is tied up, I say it once, I say it twice, I'll say it again, they have a 86.972% chance of winning the series. It's just a math. Get with it or get out.
I feel like that percentage has changed, you know, since the last time you said that, Tony. I feel like last time it was 92.375 or something.
Things change tournament for tournament. You know, numbers. Numbers don't lie. But
all right, yeah, my bad. You're right.
It's a different sample size. You know, there's different variables that coming in. You know, the
stupid me. I'm sorry.
The sun sets in the west and Suppressed is on G1. Things happen.
Well, Suppressed on G1 is definitely a story to tell. I think he's really stamped his hold on this team, and honestly, Tony, we thought I really just love that maybe he's found a home here. The man has been on multiple teams. He's been on teams that he's really made look very good. I feel like, you know, he can fit on any roster, and he's doing a great job on this G1 roster thus far.
Yeah, Suppress has always been a player that's been highly underrated, and we found out on season 1. He thought like maybe people would recognize that going into season 2, but now the question marks become like, you know, he's unproven is what everybody's saying right now. But and we keep moving the goalposts when it comes to Suppress. Eventually, you have to realize that he's a good player and he's a future star in our league. G1 recognized that, so they took a high risk, high reward, signing him in place of a very talented Suspector, and so far it's been paying dividends. You know, he's been that high damage dealer. He's been the one leading in the KD department as well for the most part during this tournament. Even when the spotlight is brightest on Gamers First, expectations are high. Suppress will continue to meet them, and he's been looking good.
And looking good is G1 in this first hill here, but the shroud screen does go down, and Falcon still gets that kill. No aim assist needed there. As I say that though, G1 trying to make a solid push onto B here, but again, this is what we see time and time again out of SSG. The defensive hold is so strong, they don't let you go through any crack here. They have everything covered, and they maintain control, and now the hills are tied up pretty much, or the time on the hills are tied up, both about halfway here. This next play is gonna be a big factor in this first hill.
Double push coming out of G1. Even the Shroud not able to keep his teammate alive, and eventually Boo Boo Doo not having the help that he thought once his teammate goes down here. Falcon being left by himself. He's gonna do as much damage as possible, but eventually he's in a 1v3. He's gonna be taken down as well. Suppress sliding across the mid-map to grab a hold of those rockets right as Space Station Gaming end up going 3 down. This can be huge for Gamers First. They already had a slight lead in this hill. Now they have all of the resources. They have SSG on respawn. This hill might end up going to G1.
Yeah, and the thing that's crazy about that is they ended up going 3 dead at that point too. They still come off a spawn, they still get all this utility and all these resources, and they look to close out this hill. SSG's not done with this just yet, but they are 2 down, which is going to make it very difficult, especially against a rocket on defense there. 3 dead for SSG. And G1 looking to close out this hill, and guess what? They're already set up for the next one.
Yeah, maybe not locked in, but they definitely have a ton of pressure here. Does Suppressed in G1, and they're like 1 round of slays away. Now is SSG recognize that, so they're looking to push Suppressed right out of here. Drop Wall should be able to buy some time here. Love that play coming out of him, but will it be enough? Stellar on the high ground, Suppressed with that Stalker rifle, doing a great job. He was here by himself over the subway side for quite some time, and
yeah,
he's still alive right now.
Yeah, this is a good hold out of him. All right, he's got the Stalker as well. This is like prime position here for Suppress. Look at the damage he's able to do. They get that trade, but a trade really is all they need because SSG are going to spawn across the map. Stellar gets a big kill, though. Almost gets the second. But again, G1 are doing such a great job of staying alive, anchoring those spawns onto C, and just forcing SSG to spawn across the map, which makes it very difficult for them to push through.
Really tough going into the subway side hill. Like after a team wins that first hill, like unless you're overextending purple side and getting in and getting locked into the second zone, like you're gonna have a tough time. Subway is really easy to lock down. That's exactly what Gamers First are doing. Stellar ends up hitting the black screen here. I don't see many players, if any, over towards subway side. Falcon even able to come out of the setup and pull rockets off the rack, off the hook, as we said, you know, as the youngins are saying nowadays. I know young speak. This looks like Gamers First are gonna take this 2-0 right now. Going into this third hill, SSG needs to set up and they need to win this one.
Tony, you're acting like you're old, man. You're young as can be, brother. I don't want to hear none of that old
live
talk.
forever.
No, you're not. You're not gonna live. All right, well, actually, I hope you do, because you're a good friend. But here we go. We're hopping on board with Boo Boo. He's got the Stalker. Once again, talking about the Stalker. Very important weapon to control on this map. I know we kind of talk about weapons a lot. You guys are like, oh, the casters always talking about the weapons in the sandbox. Well, yeah, it's very important. I mean, some of the best teams in the world just do a really good job. And of course, Boo Boo using I mean, the Bandit is such a beautiful weapon to see, but we don't see it very often. The kill time is only like 1.3 milliseconds faster than the BR. So a lot of players not utilizing this Bandit, but Boo Boo seems comfortable with it. He has it out and primed and ready to play defense here.
Yeah, so far we've seen Stalker rifles, we've seen you know, Sentinel beams, and now even the Bandit rifle come into play. And yeah, you know, we talk about it often if you're about the sandbox, but if you're not controlling it, you're gonna have trouble.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody record that. Somebody clip that in the chat. My God, talk about using the shroud in an interesting way. He didn't have much to use with that shroud, but he was able to hide in the shadows and
love that.
The backsmack. Wow, what a play by Falcade, putting his 17th kill on the board.
Yeah, I absolutely love the addition, you know, all this utility that's being added, because not only do we see it in its beginning phases, but we also see it as the game progresses and the meta changes. These players are learning to use every new addition that comes to this game, and it's so interesting to watch, you know, it evolve and watch how these players are able to utilize it in a big way to win these games.
Big kill coming out of bounds here. Eco follows it up as well. So although Gamers First making plays and putting SSG 3 down, which is exactly where they want them, SSG are able to fight right back and grab a hold of those rockets. And Penguin is he's sniffing them out. He had a feeling that Sab was there. Luckily had the rockets in hands, because the first few shots went to Sab. Sab not able to get that kill. Penguin stays alive, has one rocket and the drop wall to work with, as Space Station are taking a must-win hill number 3 here, and we're going to be going into the cafe side.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is a big hill for SSG, and the power weapons were the name of the game there. Of course, Penguin had those rockets, but he also had the Bulldog to work with as well, and he's gonna continue to keep control of that Bulldog. And you see, look at the way SSG is positioned right now. They've got Stellar here on this hill by himself. They've got, you know, presence over at PD, and what that does is that forces the spawns of G1 on that seaside, but Boo Boo sneaks on through, and this is why Halo is so interesting to watch. It's literally chess with guns. I mean, Boo Boo makes that play, and look at that, breaks the entire setup on that one play, pushing through PD.
2-1 lead still for Gamers First. Falcade watching for those seaside spawners. Meanwhile, I think SSG are pushing heavily over toward the B side. He does have some presence from Boo Boo Doo, but he's not able to get away. Bound awarded the kill for that one, even putting pressure onto the hill players as well. Sab hiding in a corner like a Call of Duty player coming in. Beautiful camping spot out of Sab. Puts SSG 3 down. Penguin punching the wall out of frustration, as they don't have the numbers to chase Gamers First out of it. And with that, Gamers First a 3-1 lead and only 2 minutes on the clock. Gamers First are about to move straight into Slayer mode.
Yep, for 2 minutes, Gamers First, all they got to do is keep control of this seaside and slay, but SSG do have the tram control right now. Bound is going to poke out with no shield, ends up going down. That's 2 down for SSG, but they get 3 dead on the side of G1. Rockets at the bottom of ATM, potentially going to be picked up here. The fight for them will happen, and Suppress gonna win that 1v1. That's a big one. He maintains his rocket control.
Rocket goes in, misses completely, but luckily Sab is able to get the kill onto Stellar right there, and Bound holding on to the seaside of the map. Gamers First obviously won. It's such a power position when it comes to this middle hill, so they're sending bodies into it. But while SSG are fighting for the seaside control so much, nobody's in the hill. Time is being drained here. We're starting off as 2 minutes. Now it is down to a minute 14 before SSG finally get their butts in first progression in the zone. Seaside is important, but mind you, SSG are still slightly running out of time.
Yeah, there's a minute and 14 seconds on the board. 45 seconds were erased before our SSG could even get to 25% of this hill. So if you think about that, it's going to be very difficult for SSG. And not only that, they still need 2 more hills to even tie this game. So looking very grim here as the clock continues to count down. They have that tram side control and force the spawns over at A side. But they've got to get slays, and all G1 is doing at this point is just trading out kills. That's all they need to do.
White Alpha spawn Gamers First out of the PD side, trying to force and zone Space Station Gaming out of this hill. Now coming in from multiple different angles. SSG did not expect Falcade flying off of the top rope. Eco with the Stalker Rifle, that's going to create a lot of damage. That's going to slow down Gamers First quite a bit, maybe large enough for them to take this zone in, but with them going 2 down for each of the team, Suppress comes in with that same Stalker Rifle, gets himself a perfect into a triple kill. The nades are going to take him down, but with 44 seconds left, SSG can't afford any time, and time is dwindling down.
Yeah, that was a potential triple kill that just won Gamers First the game or solidified the win. Of course, this was going to be very difficult difficult for SSG, but I mean, this power weapon control is incredible. That triple with the Stalker is incredible as well. 28 seconds. They'll continue to slay out here for the rest of this time, and it looks like G1 winning this game here will be up one in the series. They still need to close it out, but at this point, it's near impossible for SSG to come back in this position.
Well, Stellar is able to take down Boo Boo 2, but that's a huge 1v1 win. But as I say that, multiple members of SSG are finding the black screen, and with that being introduced to the kill feed, that trade might put it just out of reach. Eco having to funnel right in, but Gamers First continue to use that hill as bait as player after player grabs into the hill and gets introduced right back into the black screen. A 3-1 win. Gamers First now up 2-1 in the series and are 1 win away from knocking out SSG in top 6.
Wow. It's kind of crazy, right? I mean, with the addition of Suppress on this G1 roster, they are looking extremely strong, and you got to take a look at the assist column there, and that's kind of being, you know, cut wide open by Suppress. You know, multiple double-digit assists out of this squad. Suppress might have been that missing puzzle piece. You know, that one that always gets under the couch, Tony, that you just can't find. Well, looks like G1 found it. Suppress looking very solid on this roster, and it's great to see.
I want everybody to know this right now. I ain't no nerd. I don't do no puzzles.
Wow.
But, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but
Wow.
man, that play from Falcon was crazy though.
Yeah, it was.
hiding in like just a little crevice of the shadows and getting the back smack. Oh my god! I hope somebody clipped that. I want to watch that over and over again. I want to wake up to that clip every morning as G1 up 2-1 in the series. Again, 1 win away from knocking SSG down to top 6. Now keep in mind, this is the same SSG that didn't drop out of the grand finals not one time in season 1 on land. A team that, you know, is arguably top 3 in the world right now. This is the play we're talking about, by the way. Yeah. Just jumping up and down in the shadows.
Wow.
Hide, look at this. Look, what's happening? Where did he? Like,
I would love to see what his body looked like over here, because you probably just see his arm or something, right? Like, that is such a good spot. I mean, he jumps up and down. It's just so good.
Oh, I made a video about like windowing on with the shroud screen, but that's like advanced windowing. Like just the smallest crowd. He's peepholing, like he's using like the little door peephole right there as he gets the back smack. That's a crazy play by Falcated, and Gamers First going to continue to need crazy plays because, again, still strongholds. That's a Space Station game, or at least one of their bread and butter. It's going to be very tough to put them out here in a game number 4. SSG desperately is trying to send us into a game 5.
Well, Strongholds is SSG's best game type from what I'm hearing from Mr. Snow Stats. 16-5, a 76% win rate here. So, ooh, it's like someone scripted this one, Tony. We potentially, with that information, could go to a game 5. I mean, I'm loving it.
This must be McDonald's because I'm loving it too, Tim.
Oh, man.
Again,
all this food talk.
Live Fire Strong is going to be a good one. And mind you, we know that this is SSG's bread and butter. We know that this is, as Mr. Snowstat said, their best game type statistically. Gamers First have been looking different, though, so far in this series. And let's not forget, Gamers First have already 3-1 SSG in pool play. So there's a chance that we can see another 3-1 right now. Gamers First have already done it once. Can they do it again?
Well, potentially, but I want to bring up one more stat for you. You know, I said that Strongholds is SSG's best game type. Well, Live Fire, guess what, Tony? It's their best map on that game type. They're 6-1 on Strongholds Live Fire at 86% win rate. Tony, the stats don't lie, okay? Mr. Snow is giving us valuable information here. I don't want to hear about pool play, all right? It's pool play. I want to hear about bracket play, and I think SSG are going to bring this to a game 5. Do you disagree with me?
I mean, it's hard to disagree. I mean, there's plenty of liars out there. You know, my Twitch chat lies to me. Every one of my ex-girlfriends lie to me, but numbers don't lie. And like you said, to have 100% win rate on a map and game type combination, it's really tough. So we're gonna see if Gamers First can give them that first loss here on Live Fire Stronghold. We're gonna find out soon. SSG immediately starting off with getting that sniper rifle, immediately getting the double cap. I guess now we're seeing why they're so strong here in Live Fire.
Yeah, and again, you know, you got to take it day by day. We talked about this earlier. The stats do change, so we'll see if SSG are able to maintain that. They do get the shroud screen there. Oh my goodness, Boo Boo, aware of the threat that came from tower, decides to go up there and oh my goodness, Pound, what a massive double kill out of him. Tries to get that tower control back, but is cleaned up very quickly by Suppressed, who's the last player alive.
But it's Space Station Gaming once again getting that S7 in hands, bouncing that grenade right back to sender and trying to play his life as Eco. But I don't think Gamers First expect him to double right back. Off the screen, Bound and Stellar get 2 huge kills. Eco takes down the third, and just like that, this double cap not only getting played through, but also going in for the trip cap, knowing where the spawners are coming from. Eco predicting it perfectly. Suppress comes right off a spawner within 1/10 of a millisecond. He gets put right back onto the black screen. SSG take control of 50-0-1 to start off our game.
And they've got a lock too. You see right here, Eco on this nest side. They understand their spawns are coming from A, but look at G1. They're making a push towards bottom. They also have a split push on Sab, who's on the big door. Sab's gonna push back B here. Suppressed doesn't know. Eco's gonna get the kill onto him. The snipe comes out. The wipe comes through. 3 dead, make that 4. All of G1 hit the death screen.
We're gonna have to have some kind of intervention here with Eco. I'm not gonna allow this to happen. I'm not gonna allow you to bully Suppress the way you're doing right now. It is unfair. The moment Suppress comes off the spawn, Eco is just putting shots at him. This is now about to be 3 deaths in a row that Suppress comes off a spawn and gets chased down by Eco. I'm not gonna have it.
And he's on that cycle, right? Because he's like, you know, the first one to go down or whatever. They continue to find him off a spawn, but Bound gonna get a kill on Sab off a spawn. Repulse is back up to the top. The Clamber comes through. He stays alive. 2 down for G1 once again. SSG and Bound looking like they're playing a different game than what we saw in these previous games in this series.
That's 124-0 as of right now. Gamers First have yet to put a single point on the board. I told them about messing around with my cousin Owen. I told him, I said, don't allow him to coach your team. You keep hoaxing. Oh, Owen 128 right now is Gamers First. As Eco whipping out the pink miss, gets himself a beautiful assist, and finally Gamers First are on the board. But now the question remains, is it too little too late? Have they dug themselves so deep of a hole that they can't even climb out of it?
Well, there's one thing on this map and game type combination that I've seen many times in my casting career, and it is comebacks that are just unprecedented. Will we see one here? I mean, this is a very solid lead for SSG, and again, they're playing with a different pep in their step. I just love to point this out because you can see it in the players. You can see the way SSG is playing, the way their vertical moves. It's so important to watch because when you see them play with that confidence, you know, this is where they can kind of turn up and play to their potential, which we haven't really seen yet out of SSG.
Yeah, I feel like with Bound, it's more like, you know, pep in his slide. He's always just flying
True,
at you.
yeah.
Master of the mechanics is Bound, but Gamers First finally able to weather the storm here. Gamers First now getting into their own defensive stance and putting some good points on the board. With Overshield coming up, I can imagine they want to immediately get these slays, attack this Overshield from multiple sides. You see Sab onto the A side, you see his teammates onto C. This can be huge, not only for this trip cap, but surrounding the Overshield. Gamers First not out of this just yet.
Yeah, the triple cap comes through. They're definitely not out of this, and that Overshield, like you mentioned, is going to be a big factor here. They're going to try and maintain this triple cap. They get the reset onto C. Falcon, though, look at his Overshield. The top center of your screen. It is down, and Bound gets the Achilles spine. That's going to be Overshield down on the floor. No more OS to deal with, but all the while, 78 seconds and counting for G1.
It was the Shroud backsmack by Falcon that turned the tides back in last game, and maybe it's the Bound backsmack onto Falcon that turns the tides back into SSG's favor, because Gamers First were gaining a lot of space. That energy was shifting over towards G1, and now SSG once again gaining control. A beautiful stick grenade should get value there. Ends up putting Penguin down to 1 shot, taking down Stellar as well. The backsmack comes in, and somehow Boo Boo Doo remains alive here, and is going to continue to push up. Now going to work on Eco as well. What a life out of Boo Boo Doo.
Yeah, that Shroud screen getting a lot of play now. I mean, as the tournament progresses and as Season 2 progresses, we'll see it utilized more and more to get such pivotal kills in games. 2 down for G1, though, as Boo Boo tries to get this seaside control. I believe he is going to be contested by Stellar with a heat wave in your kill feed at the bottom left. Stellar ends up getting that kill, but they still continue to push C. And with that, they might potentially get these points started here on the board.
Eco and SSG making sure that G1 are not getting hold of that B side. In fact, Stellar even breaking through the mid with the heat wave. Stellar does end up being taken down. That heat wave will change hands. Eco trying to make a play onto C, ends up running into two different players, and now with Overshield coming up, once again, Gamers First finding those kills that they were looking for. This is the opportunity that they're looking to create. Heat wave in the hands of Falcated, wants to get up close and personal to multiple different players, and with that damage coming in, he should be able to snatch up this Overshield, especially with the Shroud, and there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that OS is still on the floor there. Shroud no longer able to be used. Bound trying to get a no-scope there, not able to do any damage. Gets one shot onto Stab, but he's gonna end up staying alive, and so is Suppressed. Stellar does get that OS and does pop it. SSG approaching this 200-second mark. Stellar with all the tools in hand to close out this victory on this game, and a must-win for SSG, being down 2-1 to G1 in this series. Oh my
Snipe! Snipe!
Oh my gosh! Stellar just dropped the nastiest triple kill to put Gamers First right off of spawn back onto the respawn screen, which secures them yet another triple cap in this game. Gamers First are getting punished once again. This was the cycle that they were on early game, and now it's being put on once again. Finally, Stellar ends up going down here, but just 10 more seconds or less needed here for Space Station Gaming. Gamers First would have to take two different plots at the same time, and I don't see that happening. Time continues to wind down here. Penguin defending the seaside, reset after reset, but it looks like Gamers First did find an exit onto the A side of the map.
Yeah, but they still get points here. A's not being capped. There it is.
Wow.
Space Station Gaming gonna tie this up. We're going to a game number 5.
Ain't no way we about to see G1 and SSG go at it in the elimination bracket and not go to a game 5. The Halo gods, when the Halo deities, the prophets and all of them, they would not allow us to see a Space Station Gaming versus Gamers First matchup and it not go down to a game 5 here in the elimination bracket. One of these juggernauts are gonna move on. One of them are gonna get knocked out in top 6, which let's be honest, that's a bit upsetting for both of them.
I agree. It is upsetting, but what's not upsetting is this right here. Stellar tapping his step. That's 2 headshots. I don't know who he's sniping everybody, but that's just a beautiful triple. This looks like a mouse and keyboard flick right here, right? This one is simple, it's controller, but this one right here, boom! He's falling down, and he gets the shot, the body shot to boot for the triple kill. Stellar, we need more of this out of you, my friend, or I should say I can't be a biased caster, Tony. Your team needs more of this out of you if you guys are gonna make it forward. But what an incredible clip by Stellar. SSG doing everything it takes, continuing on with the history of the stats that we saw to win that game 250 to 91. And now we take a trip back to 2007 in purple mode. In Empyrean, a beautiful map. This is one of my favorite maps in the game, Tony. It might be because I'm old, but what a beautiful map this is to watch. Slayer, a little bit difficult, but these teams are starting to adapt, and we're starting to see those beautiful, very close Slayer matches.
You know, I've been getting a lot of DMs, a lot of accusations towards Stellar, and asking and saying that, you know, maybe he's too good, maybe he's not who we say he is, because people have been accusing him of being like some kind of Jesus, some kind of god. Like, but with those shots like this, I'm starting to believe it. It don't look real. My man is going on another level. The shots are looking godlike for Stellar, and everybody on SSG has been stepping up here. Gamers First, they had that advantage. They had SSG down 2-1. They had to put him out of game number 4, because now you're going against one of the best in the business. Game 5, Empyrean. And last time we saw this, didn't we see Eco get like a nasty snipe? It was like 50 to 49. I'm pretty sure we saw Eco. I want to say he sniped. I want to say it was Gilkey from runway to runway.
I remember
that. It was 49-49 and put the 50th kill on the board. I wouldn't want to go up against SSG. Not here in this game 5. Not here on Empyrean.
All 2 players from G1 aren't ready yet, so we'll get back to that in a second. But as we wait for that, we're going to go over some stats here. SSG are 2-5 in game 5s, and G1 are 4-5 in game 5. So a little bit of a, in terms of the stats, a little bit of an edge there for G1. But like you said, we saw that, game 5 out of SSG, the clutch factor, the ice coming out of Eco there. And that's what makes this map so fun to me. The two snipers on the map, being in a situation where Tony, it, like the pace completely switches at points in this map. Teams decide either to go and push for, spawn trap on the top of tower, or they sit back with power weapons and wait for the team to come to them. But constantly you see just massive shifts in pacing on Imperium Slayer.
One thing I also find interesting about Imperium Slayer is that in the past, when playing Pit, you would see sometimes when the Overshield and the Rockets would come out at the same time, but it wouldn't happen every time. Here in Halo Infinite on Imperium, both the Rockets and the Overshield come up at the same time every single time. So I feel like it really tests your multitasking ability, because I feel like it's hard to play on one and completely ignore the other, because like even if you don't get rockets, like you can't like not know where rockets win. You have to at least get eyes on it and try to either bait rock, kill them, or at least know where that rocket player is going if you're playing for Overshield, and vice versa. So it really tests how well you're able to take space on the map and how well you're able to multitask, worrying about multiple different resources at the same time while also not dying.
Right. And it's actually so well done, right? Because you talk about Rockets and OS coming up at the same time, but if you compare the two, right, Rockets completely diminish OS with one shot. So what HCS did was they put a repulsor right outside of OS under the bridge, so that you can utilize that to make that OS valuable and kind of even the odds on both sides. But you're right. I mean, you got to decide what resources you're sending to each one, and it really makes for some valuable gameplay here and some just decision making that it can turn the tide. And we talked about the spawn trapping. You have those power weapons, that OS. I mean, it's going to be very difficult for any team to get out of that spawn trap situation.
Just remind you guys at home, it's G1 versus Spacestation Gaming here in the elimination bracket, round number 3. The winner of this match, the winner of this game, is going to make it into the elimination bracket semifinals and go up against the winner of Optic Gaming and Native Red. That's right, you have Optic Gaming, Spacestation, G1, and Native Red all in the elimination bracket. This is a first time that we have seen this in HCS history right now. One of these teams is going home earlier than expected. The other one might just go to play their hardest losers bracket matchup ever, and it starts right here on Imperium Game 5.
I'm getting word from the back that we got another false start, guys, and that's fine. We let these teams prepare so that we can have an incredible game number 5. And honestly, I'm got to look back at history once again. These two met in a game 5 Slayer back in the Charlotte Online Open. SSG won 50-42, but that was on live fire. It's a little bit of a different scenario here. It was also in the semifinal, the winner semifinal. So I mean, we've seen SSG clutch it up on this game type. We're talking about them winning a game 5 Slayer before as well. I mean, when you look at these two squads, who do you give the ice to, Tony? I mean, obviously all 8 of these players are very, very clutch when it comes to a 50-49 or a game 5 Slayer. But if there was one player you had to point out on either one of these rosters in terms of it's 49-49, it's game 5, who do you give the reins to?
I think it's really tough, because I would love to say gamers first, but whenever I think of like that clutch factor, that ice factor, I always lean to like who's been together longer.
Oh,
who has that better coordination?
I like that.
Who has that team? Cause I think that's what leads to the clutch factors. It's the trust in your teammates, the been there, done that type of mentality. So as much as I would love to say gamers first, I can't go up against Spacestation Gaming. If this is a 49-49 game, I'll put my house, your house. I'm putting everything on the line on Spacestation Gaming, because again, they've been there, they've done that, they got the t-shirt, they know what to do in every given scenario, they know who to trust, they know to give that sniper rifle to. I have SSG in that 49-49 scenario every single time.
I'm honestly going to be in the same boat. I love what you said there because it's so very important. You know, having a roster that you've been with for a long time and, you know, all 4 members you can trust in certain situations. That's very important. That's probably why we lose most of our games together, Tony, is because I just don't trust you. But here we go. Game 5, Space Station Gaming versus G1. Bound's going to get initial control of the rockets right away. G1 trades out that stored control. Bound's not going to get value, Tony. 1 rocket goes down and no kills to be had.
Rockets in the hands of Bound and Stellar manning the sniper rifle at the moment here. Boo Boo Doobu and Falcon have wanted to push up onto the sword side, and SSG better be careful. They got to address this immediately. Bound onto training. It's a sniper battle between Sab and Stellar, and Sab gonna relocate immediately after firing the first shot.
Love that. Pace of the game is very slow here to start. Bound uses his last rocket, so that rocket won't play a factor. Gets 1 kill and also gets a trade, but it's very important here to keep this pacing. You know, this is a very important game. Like you said, one of these teams will play 6th, I believe you said, and that's unorthodox for both of these rosters, so no one wants to make any mistakes. A very, very solidified push here is coming on the sword side, but no one really moving off their spot. 2 to 3 so far.
Snipe.
Huge shot coming out of Stellar to take down Suppress there, but he's not done yet. Sab coming in, almost body shot in 2 with 1 bullet there. Bound fighting for his life, able to get the trade onto Falcon. And Stellar coming in out of nowhere as they're trying to get out of this runway funnel that they're starting to create. 6-5 lead for SSG. Both teams gonna back up and reset just for a moment, but the moment they find that opening, they'll get right back to brawling out. 10 minutes on the clock. Something tells me time won't become a factor, at least not just yet.
And it's so crazy to me the way SSG plays this, right? They get that first blood in the water, and as Sharks, after that first kill happens, they just collapse. And they did it right there to get this lead here, a 1-kill lead thus far. It's gonna take plays like this, right? G1 making sure they have information on the Bound, but look how Bound plays this, right? He's all the way in the back of their base. The only problem is if he pokes out too far, now that they have information on him, he has to stay alive, and this is where it makes it difficult. He has to stay alive on their side, so look at them rotate over towards the strong side of the map, and they're not aware of it. This is what makes Bound so good. Finds the opening pick. What does SSG do off of that?
Huge plays coming out of Bound with that flank behind enemy lines, and now Gamers First are going to be seeing ghosts. You got to worry about what's in front of you and behind. They're coming from multiple different angles, just like Eco does with that overshield. Falcon is trying to find where does he go with these rockets at this point, as Eco's overshield ends up being wasted. The second rocket does take down multiple members. Sab and Gamers First do weather the storm by putting Space Station Gaming 3 down, and now Gamers First have a second to breathe, allow SSG to spawn up and find out where you're going to push from there, because it's going to be quite some time before we see that overshield and rockets rear their ugly head.
Yeah, and that last time SSG prioritized the OS over the rockets, and we'll see what they do this time. It's like G1 now has control of the sword side. Tied 9-9 here thus far. Waiting for this initial snipe. Falcon on the top of his turret with snipe. Bound just looking for an angle here. Consistently changing angles is exactly what he needs to do in this scenario. He has to make sure that no one has information on where he is. And I'm sorry to say that actually Falcon does not have that snipe. So Bound right now with potentially the only snipe in the game. Suppressed has it, I'm sorry, on the side of Gamers First.
Bound playing the tower side. Meanwhile, Suppress going for a little bit more of an unorthodox play. He's really playing multiple different off angles with this sniper rifle. Finally finds a great lane right onto Bound. Hits the body shot, does he, but forces Bound to back down. As I say that, Falcated and Boo Boo Doo both at the black swing, so Gamers First not able to capitalize on that shot or that damage that Suppressed and Sab were able to create. Another reset comes in, but Space Station Gaming having a 2-kill lead, and a 2-kill lead in a game which is paced out like this kind of feels like 5, 6, maybe almost double digits right now. And with Rocket Launcher and Custom both coming up at the same time, that's going to pull both of these teams out of their hiding spots, both of them out of their comfortable positions and towards the mid-map.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of Guardian Slayer back when it was in MLG, Halo 3. Very slow pace, but can explode at any moment. You see SSG has control of the sword side. They're going to opt to go for this OS. Well, wait a minute. Suppress gets the initial kill. Eco down on OS side, kind of stuck there. I don't know if they're going to opt to collapse on him, but a 1-kill lead thus far for SSG. You see a lot of micro fights where consistently teams are just trading out kills. SSG was up 2 kills, but G1 does a great job of bringing it within 1. Oh my goodness, the remote detonation and the double kill on a Suppressed. That's gonna open everything up. A 2-kill lead for G1.
And this is why Gamers First picked this man up. He's a playmaker, which is exactly what they need. Body shot comes in right again, forcing Penguin to back right down towards the flag side. Suppressed opens this game wide open for G1 to get aggressive and to infiltrate the side of SSG, but the defense coming in once again. Eco takes down 1. Suppressed once again gets another one. A 4th clutch kill in a row coming out of Suppressed, but his reign of terror will end there. Eco bringing the heat wave.
He brought the heat wave, and with that heat wave, they still are down by 2 kills in this game. G1 with the lead. Sniper in the hands of Stellar. You see G1 trying for that same push they just did on that long haul side. They're already in the needle side of SSG, and Stellar's stuck looking for people, but the thing is, G1 have multiple angles onto Stellar, so he has to stay alive the best he can. And all the damage being thrown out back and forth. Eco gets a kill, now within 1. But G1 still consistently find the trades and consistently find these kills. The answer back, though, once again by Stellar with a double. Beautiful shot there out of him. That garners SSG a 1-kill lead.
But Suppressed with the flank. He's over on their flag right now, hiding in a corner. And as of right now, SSG haven't been able to figure that out. So as Space Station Gaming wants to pressure them off his spawn, Suppressed with his flank gets right behind enemy lines. Finally, he's able to show himself at the right time. Ooh. What a play by Suppressed, just hiding in that corner. But eventually, Stellar and the crew find him, spot him, snipe him. And now that pressure is going to continue to be applied here. SSG in your base must be impossible to get out. Overshield and Rockets come up. Falcon and Boo Boo Doo want to prioritize it. Stellar gets the body shot onto Suppressed. Eco flying in. Stellar gets the kill here. SSG with a 2-kill lead. And mind you, we've only seen 25 here on the side of SSG, and I'm already out of breath.
Rockets gonna be picked up by Gamers First, and of course SSG once again goes for that OS. It's gonna be in the hands of Penguin, but you see how quickly that OS goes to 0. Penguin no longer having that advantage, but SSG do have a 1-kill advantage. They're not aware of Falcon, though. A beautiful flank out of him. And now he's got information on the Penguin as well. Penguin no shield, stuck in the bottom. A snipe gets taken out by Falcon, and a 2-kill lead for G1.
Falcon putting his 11th on the board. Only 1 assist to go along with it, but he's only died 8 times at the moment. A large reason why Gamers First are able to steal that lead back once again. We've seen maybe 5 or 6 lead changes right now between these two. Can one of them hold on to it is the question. Boo Boo Doo with the heat wave comes in, waves Penguin goodbye off of the map here on Empyrean. A 2-kill lead being held as Penguin right now is 3-10 struggling in this game 5.
Someone who is not struggling is Boo Boo Doo. He consistently holds control of this sword side. Falcon makes the flank play once again. Both snipers about to be on the map. Boo Boo stays alive somehow. 34-30 though, G1 The sizable lead here and control of SSG Snipe Tower and suppressed once again with a double. Can he get the triple on the Bound? This is going to be a huge kill, but Bound confident as anything, but a little too confident as Suppressed takes his head.
Is there any more doubters in the chat that don't believe this was a good pickup here for Gamers First, as Suppressed is 13-8, but not every kill is made equal. The kills that he's got have been so impactful, so valuable out of Suppressed right now, and he is the reason why, or large reason why, Gamers First have the lead. An 8-kill game right now, both as Spanker and Overshield are coming up. Boo Boo Doo follows it up with another big kill onto Stellar. Bound caught in no man's land. Suppressed goes down, but so does Bound. Eco now moves up onto the Rocket side. Boo Boo Doo might be able to get an angle before he's able to take it out, using it as bait right now. Boo Boo Doo shows himself. Down to one shot he goes. Eco backing down, moonwalking while shooting rockets out of the back pocket. Stellar with the sniper rifle. This is going down to the wire, and Gamers First still have a lead right now going into this fourth quarter. Stellar has to make a play with his Overshield and sniper rifle combination.
And he's got the confidence to do it, pushing very aggressively through the long haul. They don't know where he is. He's gonna whiff a shot though. That's a big one out of him. Doesn't hit the head. Now they have information. They're scurrying away. He gets one on the Boo Boo. Still a little bit of Overshield to work with. To get this kill, he does. Suppress goes down as well. Stellar literally running laps around the map like he does in real life. 41-44. G1 still had the lead with a minute remaining.
But once again, SSG have eaten away at this lead, and Bound with another big kill onto the player onto this tower side. That could be huge. Falcated was being that nuisance onto the tower, and he ends up going down. Once again, SSG bring us within striking distance, tied up at 44 apiece with just a minute on the clock. Falcated gets the first kill onto Eco after the beautiful shots, long range coming down from Sab. Stellar moving up onto the training side. Penguin getting caught here in the courtyard. He's gonna be eaten up here by Sab. That's an easy kill for him. Suppress gonna follow it right back up. A 1-kill game, 38 seconds on the clock here. Can SSG hold on to the lead? Meanwhile, Stellar coming in out of nowhere. Falcated goes in for the challenge. Falcated gets the double kill, tearing apart SSG as Gamers First are 1 kill away from doing the impossible, from knocking SSG out of this tournament in 6th place.
Oh my word, 1 kill away. Falcated with the left step completely threw off his opponent in that BR fight to win, to get that double kill. 9 seconds remaining. They're trying to get the last kill, and they do. G1 are going to advance, and SSG get knocked out.
I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. You are looking at a new era here in Halo Esports. The youngins are coming in out of nowhere. The underrated players like the Falcators are showing up. The players like Suppressed are coming out of nowhere. You even saw with Complexity, the Cycles and the Collects. There are new players coming in that are showing themselves as being young stars, superstars in the making. And you're seeing it right there, right now. Gamers First, clutching it out against Space Station Gaming. That is, Tim, I'm gonna faint right now, man.
Dude, I have to watch this again. Can we please watch the Falcated fight again? You have to understand, he's strafing to the weak side, right? You know, his opponent expected him to strafe right, and you know, look at this. So he expected him to back up because there's a ledge there. He can fall off that ledge. Eco gets into this fight, right? Falcated's already weak. He takes like 1 or 2 shots from the previous player. He strafes to the right. Then look, he fakes left twice. Look at this. 2 times he throws him off. Then the jump to match the jump of Eco. That was an insane out BR and an insane double kill out of Falcated right there to win them that match. I mean, that was incredible.
That boy Icy, look. Left, right, up, down, center, looking like a GTA cheat code or something. I don't even know, man. 34 kills between Falcon and Suppressor. Keep in mind, Suppressor gets the final 50th kill. 34 kills between those two. Oh my gosh, man, that is incredible. That is exciting. That's Halo Esports.
That is Halo,
that's why we're here.
Oh, that is Halo. That's the best way to wrap it up. That's why we love this game. That's why we continue to. Oh gosh, that is what I cast for right there. That was an incredible moment. Shout out to both teams. What an incredible way to end that. G1 are probably flipping out.